American COVID relief spending will soon total 5.5 trillion in less than 12 months. By comparison, World War II roughly cost 4.8 trillion in 2021 dollars. Now the federal debt is larger than the entire economy. Why are they going for broke? They're going for broke. Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion spending bill slid across his desk, signed, sealed, and delivered. Let's delve into it a little bit. Top line review. I was reading about it this morning and I couldn't drink my coffee anymore. So the massive $1.9 trillion spending bill. Some caveats, some pearls here. 91% of the COVID bill has nothing to do with the virus. 91%. 9% of the bill is only related to healthcare. 9%. Point three, 25% of the currency was created in 2020. 25% of the currency was created in 2020. Think about that. So 91% of the bill is a massive giveaway. It's a bailout. It's a bailout for favors, for the haves and haves-mores. So already, and I did a video on this, inflation is starting to creep in. It is. You know, let's take an example. Look at gas in California at Exxon. Regular gas is $4.29, plus is $4.99, and premium is almost $6 a gallon, $5.99. So what's going on here? With low gas prices, gas is creeping up. Now, number two, we are now the net importer of energy as opposed to the exporter. We used to be an exporter. Now we're importing energy. Meats, fruits, and veggies are up. Top economist, top Democrat economist says, can't keep living beyond your means and spend like this without inflation. Top economist. When's it gonna stop? Only thing saving us now is what? Is low interest rates. When rates go up, only then we'll be doing is serving the interest on the debt. So that's the only thing that's saving us right now is the low rates, and they're gonna keep them low for a while. They're not gonna lower them, but you know what? They're gonna have to go up. So what are we doing? We borrow, we spend, and we print. We borrow, we spend, and we print. That's not the way to do it. So here's a fact, something my dad told me. In life, there's no free lunch. Everyone wants a free lunch right now. So how massive is this $1.9 trillion bill? Let's break it down. Pretty simple. Divide 1.9 trillion by 141 million. What does the 141 million represent? That's the amount of Americans in the workforce right now. 141 million Americans out of 330 million people. I think that's quite pathetic, but it's 141 million. So divide 1.9 trillion by 141 million working Americans. That's roughly 13,400 per taxpayer. 13,400 per taxpayer. I was thinking, you know, the government should just cut every working American a check for 13 grand. It would be better use of the money. 13 grand, every working American, 141 million. And already the Congress is saying 1.9 trillion is not going to be enough. Even though there's still $1 trillion left in the account they haven't spent yet, they're going to need another 3 trillion. And they are, because the 1.9 trillion is going to be gone through in 6 months, and they're going to need another roughly $3 trillion. You know, so we're currently at $30 trillion. No one talks about it on both sides of the aisle of the political spectrum. No one talks about it. We're currently at $30 trillion, so we're the most indebted country in the world. So let's break down, how's the breakdown of this, you know, who's getting what? This is what's interesting. This is the big enchilada. $195 billion goes to states with no strings attached. They just get the money, they got a surplus, states will have a surplus, they'll probably be good for 2+ years. $195 billion goes to states with no strings attached. Okay, 130 billion for reopening K-12 schools, with the nice caveat of with no requirement that they reopen. They get 130 billion dollars and they don't have to reopen. 25 billion for public housing, 20 billion for public transit. American states and cities are seeing a direct windfall north of $500 billion. A direct windfall of $500 billion. Here's 3 points that are interesting. 9 of the 10 states with the lowest unemployment in America are led by Republican governors, and they don't meet the relief bill's requirements, so they're going to get no money. They have the lowest unemployment, they're going to get no money. Biggest winners are the states locked down the hardest. That makes sense. States with huge pension liabilities like Illinois, New Jersey, New York, guess what? Massive bailout. Massive bailout. So here's some other little pearls. Abortion's in the bill. What does abortion have to do with COVID relief? What does that have to do with the people dying of COVID and healthcare? So abortion, Planned Parenthood getting a big bailout. Like I said, New York, big, New Jersey, Illinois, California. Teachers Union. Teachers Union is going to get $140 billion. $140 billion. And I left this one for last. This is just the icing on the cake. I love this one. Harvard University. And they already have billions of dollars, they already have a massive endowment. They're getting a bailout. They're getting money. They don't need it. They already have a massive endowment. One of the most prestigious universities in America is getting money. Unbelievable. The Washington Journal, which is pretty middle of the road, this is what they said. What's going to happen is, what's going on in this country is we're going to create a permanent cradle to grave welfare state at this rate. We are going to create a permanent cradle to grave welfare state. And that's the direction we're heading. You just can't keep printing money. You can't give people unemployment and they can make more money on unemployment as opposed to going to work. And that's what's happening. Even they curtailed the bill from 400 to 300 unemployment, but you tack on the federal assistance plus what they're going to get, a lot of these people are going to make more money not working. So the bill pays people to stay home. You know, individuals 75K or less are going to get the nice $1,400 check, couples $150, $1,400, and illegal aliens getting checks as well. You know, if you're paying taxes, you deserve to get a check. You know, still $1 trillion not spent, like I said earlier, from the previous relief bill. What's going to happen with that money? Who's going to get that money? What back doors is that money going to go through? It's just sitting there in a little coffer. What kickbacks is that going to be used for? $1 trillion has not been spent yet. We do another 1.9 trillion. We got $1 trillion sitting there. What's going to happen with that money? People are going to forget about that $1 trillion in the coffers, and it's just going to disappear. So it's a massive bailout of the states who've been fiscally irresponsible. The states that have been fiscally irresponsible are going to get a massive bailout. Here's one interesting one. San Francisco. And the San Francisco Chronicle, of all things, made this comment. San Francisco Chronicle said the government spending is out of control. It bails them out for 2 years. San Francisco's getting $650 million. $650 million. So a lot of these states have massive pension liabilities. You know, it's just out of control. And I said that we should have a stimulus bill. Absolutely. This is, you know, an unprecedented time, just like I said when in the beginning of the presentation with World War II comparison. Unprecedented time in world history with this pandemic. But it's the amount of risk we're doing with this money. It's not being fiscally used correctly. And it's just a bailout, and using the crisis to bail out cities and not track this money, in my opinion. We need bailout, we need stimulus, we need it for healthcare, we need it for people. But you know, to not tie any provisions to this and say, hey, the schools must reopen. It's time to get back to work. it's time to, bring people together on both sides of the fence and get this thing humming again. And the America we know and love, and I wrote this down. I think it's time we go on with saving lives, ending this pandemic, and living our lives. Okay? Living our lives. I know people that have been affected by this virus. I know a lot about it. I've been traveling a lot. I know a lot of doctors. I used to work in the pharmaceutical sector, so I'm doing a lot of the right things they told me to do. And it's working. And I feel very comfortable and safe traveling and interacting with people. I know other people that have been taken down by this virus and are healthy, and they've been taken down. So the virus, it's out there. It can be dangerous, but we have to be sensible. And local municipalities, the government, people have to come together. So I hope this 1.9 trillion, I'm an optimist, will be used somewhat correctly, and these states will be more fiscally responsible with these huge pension liabilities. Things have to change. And this is very dangerous with these bills right now and inflation. It is very dangerous road we're going down. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Take care.